Hello, friends. James Stevenson here, along with my co-host, Loki the Chihuahua, and Elon Musk here on my t-shirt. You can see him peeking in. Happy Q2 Tesla earnings. The earnings numbers came out yesterday, and they were better than almost everybody expected. Part of the reason for that was that, unbeknownst to any of us trying to put together an earnings forecast, Tesla sold 75% of their Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin impairment that everybody had expected to be a really big expense turned out to not be that big of an expense. That is the gist of what I'm about to review with you, but I did tweet out a breakdown of earnings per share by type. So all the revenues and all the expenses broken down into major categories so that there wouldn't be any really tiny amounts that are hard to see on a bar chart. And I just put together a visualization of where earnings per share comes from in terms of what I was expecting. So what I want to do now is compare what I forecast against what Tesla actually reported to see how far off I was. And this is something that I tweeted out earlier today, but what I'll do is share my screen with you and bring up the PowerPoint presentation that I used to get a high quality enough image of this to tweet out on Twitter. So there's 2 slides in this deck, and that's all there are. The first one is showing my estimate, and I have it labeled 7/3 here. That means the estimate that I tweeted out publicly on Twitter on July 3rd. So the same day Tesla reported their deliveries, I updated my estimate and tweeted that out. And this is what it was. I was expecting $1.73 of non-GAAP EPS, which is what you get when you take the $1.45 of GAAP EPS as reported and add to it the 28 cents I was expecting worth of stock-based compensation. So what we actually got from Tesla, I'll switch to this second slide. You see there's a red banner across the top now, and it says actual on it. So what Tesla actually reported was non-GAAP EPS of $2.27, which was $1.96 of GAAP EPS plus 31 cents of stock-based compensation. So it was low by 3 cents on the stock-based compensation. And then I'll walk you through the rest of how we got to where we are. Also, there's a cheat sheet off to the side over here showing you what the actual revenues and expenses per share were, along with the non-GAAP EPS, the stock compensation, and the GAAP EPS. Stock comp is the difference between these two. One includes it and one excludes it. So my forecast was off by about 50 cents, and 33 of those cents, so more than half of my variance, was coming from this one line called restructuring and other. What's going on there? Well, everybody expected that there was going to be a really big Bitcoin impairment expense in Tesla's earnings, and there wasn't. And the reason for that is Tesla sold 75% of their Bitcoin before the quarter ended. So they were only required to list a Bitcoin impairment expense on the Bitcoin that they still owned at the end of the quarter. And that expense ended up being only about $100 million instead of the $400 or $500 million most people expected, including me. So you can see that reflected as part of the restructuring and other costs here in the darkest blue section. It's so small in the actuals because it's only 12 cents, you can see over here. It's so small you can almost not even see it. It is really hard to read the data label on that. But what I was expecting was 46 cents there. So that was my largest variance between what I was expecting and what the actuals were. And what I'll do right now is just rock back and forth between these 2 slides a few times. So you can see, starting from the bottom of the bars, the $1.22 I was expecting for all other cost of sales was correct. I didn't forget to update it. That is the number Tesla reported, though the revenues came in 5 cents per share higher than I thought they would. for all other revenue. Then under the energy division's revenue, that came in stronger at 75 cents. So that was 6 cents better than I thought it would be. And the automotive revenue also came in better than I thought by about 10 cents. So all of those are good news. Also, the energy cost of sales came in lower than I thought they would be, only 67 cents instead of the 71 cents that I was forecasting. So a difference of, 5 cents there-ish, 4 or 5 cents. And the automotive cost of sales did come in higher, but they came in higher along with higher revenues. So I was only off by about 4 cents at the automotive gross margin line. If you take the 10 cents and the 14 cents and net those against each other. Then another really big miss came on the research and development line. Now it's only, 9 cents lower than what I was expecting on a per share basis, but that's a pretty big miss in percentage terms, right? That's about 18% lower-ish than I was expecting it to be. So possibly the prior quarter had a lot more expenses in it related to ramping up factories that weren't producing vehicles they could sell yet. That kind of expense doesn't get recorded as cost of sales because you didn't sell those products. There was no revenue associated with it for you to be able to call it a cost of sales. No sale, no cost of sales. So it gets recorded as research and development expenses because you're building prototypes is the idea, right? And the other items came in really close. So the SG&A off by 2 cents, taxes another off by 4 or 5 cents, and stock compensation off about 3 cents. So I'm happy with how I did on my forecast estimate, given that I didn't know Tesla was going to sell 75% of their Bitcoin during the quarter. And that's all I have for this video. I want to keep this one short. So if you have enjoyed this video, click the like button. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, why not? Go ahead and subscribe to my channel over here. That's what Loki would want you to do. But it's your life. Do what you want to do. And I will see you in the next one.